What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Geeks and Company. My name's JS, and as a quick follow-up to our thoughts on the Matrix Resurrection, our last video, I wanted to compare some box office numbers here. Now, obviously, by the time you get to see this video, these numbers may have changed a little bit. As of right now, we are exactly 2 weeks, day for day, from the release of the Matrix Resurrection, so it has been out for 2 weeks now. So far, the Matrix Resurrection has grossed $106 million worldwide. $106 million worldwide. So on top of the movie not being very good, financially, so far, this movie is a giant flop. And why do I say this is a giant flop? Well, let's look at these numbers quickly. So first of all, The Matrix Resurrection had a budget of $160 million. So they haven't even broken even on the production budget of this movie. Now, on top of the production budget of a movie, you have to consider the marketing budget of a movie. Now, it's widely agreed upon that marketing budget is usually about half of the production budget. I think that's a little bit high, especially these days. So let's go on the lower side. Okay, let's say, assuming that the Matrix Resurrection's budget is a quarter of the production budget. So marketing budget is a quarter of the production budget. Production budget is 160, which would make the marketing budget 40. So a total cost of $200 million, and so far in 2 weeks, The Matrix Resurrection has made $106 million. So half of what the cost of the movie was. Now, I'm sure this movie is going to keep making money. It still is making money, although as of yesterday, it made $31,000 yesterday. It made $30,000 the day before, $29,000 the day before, so on and so forth. I want to compare this quickly to a couple of other movies that have come out recently. Let's look at Spider-Man No Way Home. Now, Spider-Man No Way Home had a budget of $200 million. So let's just assume, again, that the budget of this is half, or the marketing budget is half of the production budget, which, again, I know that's not really accurate anymore. It's probably much less. But in this case, let's assume that it is. So we're talking a production budget of 200, which would make the marketing budget 100, which means that the total cost of making Spider-Man No Way Home would have been $300 million. Well, Spider-Man No Way Home is now sitting at a worldwide gross of 1.4 billion dollars. $1.4 billion for a Spider-Man movie. Now, this is the most successful movie that Sony Pictures has ever released. By far the most successful Spider-Man movie ever. Also, apparently, or a lot of people are saying the best of the three, Marvel or MCU Spider-Man movies. But what a stark difference from a movie that made 100 million to this one here that made 1.4 billion. And it's not like this was out months and months before. Spider-Man No Way Home, let's see, when was it actually released? Release date, December 17th. The Matrix Revolution was released, Resurrection. The Matrix Resurrection was released December 22nd. So 5 days later. So Spider-Man No Way Home has 5 days on The Matrix Resurrection, and it already has $1.4 billion grossed. The Matrix only has 106. Let's look at another movie, Ghostbusters Afterlife. Now, Ghostbusters Afterlife hasn't made a ton of money, but again, wasn't a big budget. We're looking at a $75 million budget. So on a $75 million budget, let's just assume that $40 million for the marketing budget, that would put this movie at $105 million gross. Well, that movie is currently sitting at 184.9, so $185 million. So again, this movie is $80 million up on its budget. Venom Let There Be Carnage. Now, this is a little bit of an older movie at this point, but Venom Let There Be Carnage, again, had a $110 million budget. Let's assume, again, half of that in marketing. So we'd be looking at let's say $165 million, let's say. The movie grossed $500 million. So this is not looking good for The Matrix. Guys, I mean, if you liked The Matrix Resurrection, that's amazing. I didn't think actually the movie was all that bad. Again, if you haven't seen my thoughts and my buddy Rob's thought on the Matrix Resurrection, go back to the last video, check it out. It's actually not that bad of a movie, as far as I'm concerned. It's not that bad of a movie. Not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Let me put it that way. It's not a good movie, but nowhere near as bad as I thought it was going to be. But it's just not performing. So we're not going to get another Matrix movie. I very, very much doubt we're going to get a Matrix 5. At least not anytime soon, not with the way that this movie is performing at the box office. And now up here anyway, theaters are all shut down again. So now people aren't going to be able to go see this movie. So this movie's not going to be making any more money. It's lost its chance at making money. It's basically done now. It may make a little bit of money, in the U.S. if there are still some theaters open. Overseas maybe, but it looks like more and more theaters are shutting down every day because of the pandemic. So, yeah, this movie financially is a huge flop. As far as the story goes, again, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, but still a flop. Not looking good for the Wachowskis and the Matrix Resurrection. What do you guys think? Do you think this is going to make any more money? Do you think it's going to be a big financial flop? Do you think something's going to happen and people are going to gain interest in this movie and it's going to make more money? Let me know down below. Well, that'll be it for today. Thanks for watching, everybody. Stay geeky. I'll see you next time.